There's a story of a man who was taking a walk and he went into a cemetery and was walking through the cemetery, and his attention was caught to the inscription on a tombstone. And see what the tombstone said. Of course, it put the name of the person who was buried and dead 6 feet under. His name was Martin Gooseberry. So the tombstone read, Martin Gooseberry, born December 25, 1844. Died April 18, 1896, 52 years. And look at the inscription that caught the attention of this young man walking through the cemetery. And as I read this, my heart began to burn. What was the inscription after the name, the birth, and the death? It read, I was once like you, and you will soon be once like me. That was the inscription on the tombstone. I was once like you, but beware, you will soon be like me. Life is like a vapor. It quickly disappears. That's why tonight must be a night of decisions. Because you have no idea when the vapor will disappear. And there is no opportunity to reappear for a rematch of life. Life is a vapor and it quickly disappears. Number 2 thing you want to note about your life is that your life was given to you for his pleasure and will be required at his end to give an account. Your life was given to you for his pleasure, and a record will be required at its end. In Revelation chapter 4 verse 11, it said, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they were created. Your life was handed over to you, not for you, but for him. Your life was handed over to you, not for your enjoyment, but for his pleasure. And at the end, an account will be required of you. Number 3 thing to note about your life is that your life has its days already determined. You are seated here tonight at the crusade ground, or if you don't have any seat to sit down, I'm here to announce to you the number of your days, the number of your months, the number of your weeks, the number of your hours are already predetermined. You don't have an idea. I don't have an idea. But God knows how many days, how many weeks, how many months, how many years, and how many decades have been allocated to you. In Job chapter 14 verse 5, he said, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Look at that again. His days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed a boundary that he cannot pass. So your life has its days already numbered. There is the story of a prisoner who was put on death row. And this prisoner said, I am put here in prison in the first place for a crime I never committed. Not only am I in prison for a crime I never committed, I've been put on death row. My life is being asked of me for a crime I know nothing of. And so the day this man was supposed to be executed, his family was called, a pastor was called. Come and see, give him your last goodbyes and let him give you his last goodbye. And they kept asking this man, now that all things are finally over, did you commit this crime? The man said, no. You have nothing to lose if you confess now. The man said, no, I know nothing of this crime. And so the pastor looked at him. He said, what you are going through is what all of us one day will go through. You know that today is your time to die. You know it is at 6 p.m. You know you are dying in this prison. You know your family will come and wave goodbye to you. He said, every man on earth will have his life taken from him one day. The only difference and advantage you have over us is that you know the time of your departure. Every other person has no idea. Your time of departure may be closer than you think. The moment where you will stand before God may be nearer than you assume. You may think you still have decades ahead of you. But as we read, He is the one who holds your times. Your life. Your life. Your life has its days already determined. Some may be having an opportunity to hear this gospel message for the last time. Maybe God has given you opportunities again and again and again and again and again, and you keep pushing them away. This may be the last opportunity with a clear gospel message. I don't care how I live my life, you will give account. I don't care what anybody says about the kind of life I'm living. Yes, after life comes death, and after death comes judgment. You will not need your badge from your church to enter heaven. You will not enter heaven because you served in the Abraka Miracle Crusade. You will not enter heaven because you have a title. You will not enter heaven because you are a fellowship member. You will not enter heaven because you are a fellowship leader. You will enter heaven only on the account of accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior and living a life that is well pleasing to Him.
Hi guys, this is Emeka Anslem and I welcome you to my YouTube channel. I just want to say thank you for always coming back and back again to my channel to watch my content. I really hope that they've been a medium of great blessings to you. Alright, let's get back to the video. Yeah.
Your life and my life has an exam at its end. You're on campus, you can't graduate from here without writing your exams. You can't graduate from life without facing your exams. Life has an exam, and the exam of life is judgment. Soon and very soon, everyone will appear one by one. Isaac will appear. Ayo will appear. James will appear. Everyone will appear one by one, by one, by one. If you pass the exam, they open the gate of heaven. If the exam is failed, God forbid, it is the gate of hell. But God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, and whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. It is appointed unto man once to die, and after this, the judgment. Hebrews chapter 2 verse 3 and 4. How shall we escape if we neglect so great a salvation, which was first to be spoken by the Lord and was confirmed by them that heard him? In Revelation chapter 20 verse 12 to 15. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. 13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to his works. 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. 15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Before the great outpouring that we expect on this crusade ground, this must be the beginning of the journey. Are you ready for life after death? Are you ready for the judgment? Is your name written in the book of life? I didn't say, do you go to church? I didn't say, are you a member of your fellowship? I didn't say, do you belong to a Christian home? Is your name written in the book of life? This must be the beginning. The greatest of all miracles is not the blind eye that opens. It will happen here tonight. It's not the deaf that hears. It's not the lame that walks. It's not when tumors disappear. It's not when cancer is crushed. It's not when arthritis disappears. And make no mistake, all that will happen here tonight. But the greatest miracle is the miracle of salvation. There is no joy in heaven when the cripple walks. There is no joy in heaven when the blind sees. There is no joy in heaven when tumors disappear. Is God happy? Yes, he is. But he said there is joy in heaven over a sinner that repents.